Let's talk about toxic lead gen bros. There's a number of people where you've called them out. Do you still see those in the roofing Facebook groups, those guys?
And it's one thing when your competition calls you out, but when your own employees calling you crook, you like Lee tried to fight me, outside of a restaurant. He tried to fight me at the expo. Like, I know how to fight. I can knock you out. If something breaks, like, I know how to, like, I fought all my life. I'm from Russia. Like,
that's one thing I would tell just other marketing agencies, getting better about turning people down, where try to do the math on ROI. Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast, and I have a perennial guest. This is his 2023 appearance on the Hook Better Leads show. Thank you for joining me, Dmitry Lipinskiy.
Absolutely.
And we're talking about lead generation fails and what you can do to make those less likely. You've seen a lot of people spend a ridiculous amount of money on lead gen, and you get complaints from people. And
all the time.
One of your favorite companies to talk about is HomeAdvisor and Angie. We're going to touch on them, but we're also going to talk about toxic lead gen bros on Facebook that come after you in the DMs. We're going to talk about also just how to get a better relationship with your marketing agency so you're less likely to experience one of these fails. So the first question for you is, are you still negative on HomeAdvisor and Angie, and why are still some people advocating for them?
I don't see a lot of people advocating. We have tons of DMs. People want to join the class action, and to be honest with you, like, fool me once, it's on me. Fool me twice, like, fool me once, it's on you. Fool me twice, it's on me. And if you still believe to this day in HomeAdvisor goodness, or that they can generate results, you didn't do your research, you didn't read the articles, you didn't watch the videos. You should try it, right?
But they're so persuasive on those phone calls.
Of course, but you have to try, $1,000-$2,000. You waste money, you documented it, move on. But I don't see the change. I don't see anything that HomeAdvisor does different. Like, they're just not willing to change the model. Like, AngelList used to have better model, and HomeAdvisor just doesn't. So they ruined every platform that ever purchased because they acquired a lot, handymen and stuff, and they're losing contractors, they're losing homeowners. So in that regard, I see more and more complaints. And, I'll give you an example. Even when we do stuff on class action lawsuits, I'm like, hey guys, they lost, they have to pay fine. I'm going to put a link below for class action. And it's like, I'm not the one behind class action. Like, there's a law firm, Chemicals is the name. And I put the link, top comment, description everywhere. And then people still comment like, how do you file class action? Well, Google HomeAdvisor class action lawsuit. Everybody wants help. People want to air their frustrations, but you have to fight for yourself. You have to file dispute. If you're not willing to report the company, if you're not to join class action lawsuit, it's one single form. So you'll go to roofinginsights.com to fill the form for me to help you. But if you're not going to go to if you cannot do Google search and submit the form to join lawsuits, I can't help you if you cannot help yourself. So in that regard,
do you think that will turn into something?
Oh,
the lawsuit?
It's going forward. They tried to dismiss it for years. It's going forward. They have thousands of people because of us. Actually, they have thousands of people signed up.
Let's talk about toxic lead gen bros on Facebook. It's sometimes in the DM, sometimes in the group, generally characterized by they can get you this enormous amount of leads, and it's people talking about $30 a lead, crazy numbers, things like that. And sometimes it's Facebook ads, and there's a legitimate avenue. But you had a couple of fights this last couple of years. I'm not going to name names. Well, let's just say, the don't get waxed people, but also there's been a number of these, right?
Yep.
I don't want to go into names just because I'm not trying to start fights, but there's a number of people where you've called them out. Do you still see those in the roofing Facebook groups, those guys? And why do they keep popping up?
Well, they keep popping up because of guys like Ty Lopez, who is multiplying these marketers. Because, we have a lot of gurus who sells the dream job of a marketer. It's easy to sell a business owner package. I call you, it's like, Tim, you're not on Facebook, you're not advertising, let me help you. So imagine if I sell you a $2,500 a month package and I work 2-3 hours on your account, and I can get 10 of you. So now I'm making 2,500, 25 grand a month, not even working 40 hours. So it's a good deal for them. It's been a bad deal for the business owner.
So you've had these fights, like I'm saying Waxman is one example, and there's a number of other ones that we talked about before this. Why did those people, and there's a couple of them, why do they stick around, and how do they keep finding their audience when you're pretty loud on the internet? So like people could search their name. I
would say this: once we call someone out, they have to move on. Like Waxman is nowhere to be found. Drive Social is nowhere to be found. They don't
really, because that was a pretty big company.
Well, you're not going to find them in the groups. They still can do business. They still going to exist, and they still going to fight people. But like once I call you out in the roofing space, people are going to be skeptical, because what's happening is like a roofing industry, and majority of the community is smaller than people think. And it goes both for bad players, like I'm talking about bad contractors who don't like to pay sales guys. It goes, right, word spreads around. So we have this mentality that industry is big. You have anywhere from 50 to $300 billion. Depends how you count. You count sales or you count revenue of the companies. But let's say it's a $50 billion company, $50 billion industry. It's a lot of people involved. Now, if you start screwing with people, your reputation goes in front of you. So we have mentality of like, okay, I have disputes with this guy, I'll go to another. But what's happening in other groups, sell other people. But what's happening next time you have dispute or advertise with others, people start tagging. Like the video I'm gonna make about you, next time you advertise, people tag that. So like, and it's very hard to delete the video or not to react to it. Like you have to go, like I'll give you one name, John Paramore. So he's a recruiter. Like I talk to his employees, and it's one thing when your competition calls you out, but when your own employees calling you crook, when your employees quitting, I mean, imagine people in this room quit and you say, Tim, you're a crook, you're screwing roofers, I cannot work for you. Like you can't, it's one thing when your client have a dispute with you, but you can still explain to your team what went wrong, right? Like you tried hard, there's miscommunication. But in John Paramore case, he has like 10 employees calling him crook. So he has a recruiting package. He collected $150,000 from roofers to recruit, and he has 0 people working for him actually doing recruiting. That's the problem. You cannot deliver, right? And so when you call out a person like that, he can block you, but his reputation goes in front of him. Like, yes, he's going to...
Do you think of Lee as one of those people?
Lee, his reputation catches up to him.
Yeah. I know that you guys are about to fight. How much of that is just masculine posturing, and how much of that is you believe he's truly a scam artist?
I call Lee Haight is the best of the worst. So I call out like, and here's the thing, like I gave my stage and I promoted like anywhere from 40 to 70 people. John Sinek, Martin Pettigrew, Adam Benzman. I mean, my list of people that I promote and I endorse, all of them, like Jim Johnson, all the good guys. I give stage to good people. I promote them. I interview them. I give them podcasts. I do events with them. I don't talk negatively or think about my competition. Over the years, I called out 3 players, Anthony Delmedico, John Paramore, and Lee Haight. And I would say Lee Haight is the best out of the worst. So I think he has good intentions. I think he genuinely is trying to do something, but he inherited very bad business model of storm chasing, going over people, stack and starve sales guys, chasing sales versus chasing profits. A lot of like bad business practices. I mean, he was born into it. Like Marty Hyde built $100 million company. Like over the past 20 years, he has nothing but disputes and lawsuits, like every year, and he's not profitable. So what happens when you're not profitable? What happens when you have millions of dollars you owe to ABC Supply?
By the way, I'm probably going to try to have him on this podcast.
That's fine.
To respond to this as a lead up to the fight, which is really, sounds like it's really happening in December.
It will happen.
You guys are actually going to fight. I mean, what do you say to people in the industry that say this is bad for the industry? They say fighting And the way this makes it look to insurance carriers, that it might make it look like roofing is a disreputable industry, or that contractors are not reputable.
I think what Lee is doing is like Lee likes to say that he's a bad example. When you yell and scream at public adjusters, when you don't respect homeowners' privacy, and you go like when you solicit in neighborhoods without a permit, like
I have a question for you. You watch his content then?
Yeah.
You watch his videos?
Just recently, after we accepted the fight, I started. But the thing is, there's a bad vibe to it. Like when you try to attack me, or like when you like Lee tried to fight me, outside of a restaurant. He tried to fight me at the expo. I think what we're doing this time, and I mean we have professional venue, we have a contract signed, there are rules. Right, as a third party, I think it's a sporting challenge. Boxing is a sport. Boxing is not violent. Like, as a matter of fact, here's the thing. Here's my answer to violence per se. Professional fighters, MMA fighters, professional fighters, boxers, they will do everything they can to avoid the fight in real life. Like, I know how to fight. I can knock you out. If something breaks, like I know how to, like I fought all my life. I'm from Russia. Like in Russia, all my friends, they were from Dagestan, where Khabib Nurmagomedov is. And I used to fight. Like when I was like 7th grade, father brought a boy who was from Dagestan to my father. I broke his finger. He was like, you have to pay medical bills. My dad says, you know what? They fought. Is there a deal? If you want to walk away as a whole yourself, get out of my face. Like that's my childhood, right? So I'm not afraid of, like I've never been afraid of a man. Like
you don't think that this is actually a negative on the roofing industry?
I think dealing like cage fight or boxing fight, no. But negative is, or amateur is when the roofers fight outside of Home Depot, that would be negative. Roofers fight at ABC Supply at a conference.
So organized fight is different.
Of course, it's a sporting challenge. It's just like arm wrestling. It's a fitness challenge.
Yeah.
You challenge me to the fight, I accept the fight. It's like I don't see like okay, Zuckerberg versus Elon Musk. I would love to watch that. I don't think it's unprofessional. I don't think it's bad. But
no one really called that one out. No one said this is bad for social media professionalism.
Exactly, because there's something to it.
Yeah.
We like it. I think it's a good entertainment. I think there's nothing wrong with it. Like, I like physical fitness challenge. I don't care if it's, for me, it's the same, identical. If you would say, I can run 100 meters faster than you.
Yeah.
Or like, I can lift more weights with you. Like, okay, let's go train and let's do it.
And you guys are doing this down in Atlanta?
Yes.
Raymond Little is hosting, from what I understand, or
he's just help us.
Yeah. And if you guys do put it together, I just want to hereby.
It's happening.
I would like to be an announcer for this, and I would love to invite Best Damn Roofer Josh Bigger.
There's like 5 people nominated themselves.
I know. I'm hereby throwing my name into the ring, and I'm asking Josh Bigger to join me. Hey, thanks for watching this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps other people see this content. We're back every Tuesday and Friday with the podcast, and we've got a ton of other videos. Thanks, guys.
Does your company want to build your brand and get more jobs in the neighborhoods you're currently working in?
The Brick by Brick playbook allows you to establish your brand, your reputation, and gain trust in any neighborhood in your service area with a series of 4 postcards sent once a week to the neighbors of your current jobs. If you want to get more work in the neighborhoods you're currently working in, get with the team at Dope Marketing and get your Brick by Brick playbook set up today.
So we talked about lead gen bros. We talked about Angie and HomeAdvisor. Let's just talk about the other things, because some of those lead gen bros, it is cold call centers, right? There's categories of this, right? There's categories. The cold call centers sometimes work. Like, for instance, we just talked about Raymond Little. He has his own call center that works really, really well. So I do think one thing is to ask them, how are you going to get these leads? So when people are asking about leads and how are you going to get these leads? Is it a call center? What does that look like? Where is it at? What is, that type of thing. I think that those are questions to ask. Do you believe call centers can be legitimate? What do you think? What do you ask to try to get to the bottom of where these leads are coming from and the quality?
Well, you have to do your research. It's your business on the line. Understand the risk. Understand what you're signing up for. Like, for example, with the call centers. If you sign up with a call center who is shady, like let's say you sign up with a call center from Mexico City, right? What's going to happen if they're going to call numbers that should not be called, right? If you get in trouble for soliciting to, do not call list, who is liable, you or a call center? Like simple stuff like that. How is your business going to be affected by it? So let's say you buy a big package and you call 100 homeowners a day. What will happen when you start getting negative reviews on the internet from it? Like, just
people get negative reviews from door knocking sometimes.
Exactly. So you don't have to do the business with people to review it, because if you do something to people who, if you do business in a way that people don't like you to do business with them, like I hate door knockers at my place.
And I don't love cold calls.
Exactly. So it's annoying. So assume the risk. Do you like, especially third party, you can't control. You can control your employee. So I love call centers. There's nothing wrong with the call centers. The biggest companies in the country use call centers, but they usually own them.
Yeah.
And
that is kind of the real takeaway, is like, if you can own the whole process and define, like what Raymond said he likes is being able to define the script.
Exactly.
And he writes them. He's part of writing them, which is different than just like somebody across the world doing it and saying whatever they want to say. The same goes to Facebook lead gen companies. Sometimes if they're putting leads that are like, it's a $7,000 roof or whatever, there's a lot of those ads. You see them, and it puts a false idea into the customer's head. That's going to be very uncomfortable when your sales guy says the roof is $20,000.
Yep.
And so that's the only thing you have to figure out, just practically, how to make that switch in their mind after you get a lead from a Facebook ad that says $7,000 and you're saying it's 20. How do you position that? So people have figured out how to work it, obviously, because there's a lot of them still. It's just something it's not the ripest lead, is what I'm saying. Like the ripest lead is like, they know your price. They're still interested because of various reasons, probably because they got to know you.
Yep.
And that's one major benefit of actually. I think you should pair Facebook ads with putting out good organic content on social media. So maybe they like your page and they're actually seeing some videos from you or things like that. I think it's going to warm up the lead, that type of thing. So that goes to the next point a little bit, is like, our lead gen companies or marketing companies can only do as good as what we're also supporting a little bit. Like, I think our clients always do a lot better when they are doing some organic social media, when they're doing some job site branding, when they're doing things like this, when they're turning every 5th or every 10th deal into another referral. And part of that is, I think, social media stokes referrals. So, but how have you seen, and I know that every single marketing company that has ever existed in the roofing spaces, you probably talked to somebody about them, like the clients talk to people, but like, what have you seen has been principles that allow a roofing company to actually get a good experience from a marketing company? Because certainly there's things you can do as a roofing company owner or a marketing manager to get a better experience, to get better results from a company. So what have you seen work to help get that better results?
You mentioned earlier creating your own content. Nobody understands your business better than you do. If you understand your value proposition, like having solid offers, like if you call a marketer and say, hey, here's my best seller, how can I sell more of it? Like, for example, let's say you do $200 gutter cleaning. If you explain it to the marketer, now marketer will have to just repackage it, right? Like, I deal with it right now with the directory. So I hire marketers. We do Facebook ads and stuff. But first is I have to create content. How do you sell directory to the homeowners and to the contractor? Like, brand new service, marketers doesn't understand it. Like, I cannot just hire Facebook guru and give him money, say advertise directory.com. He will create ads, but they probably not going to be effective. So you have to figure out your business. Think about yourself as like, if you're McDonald's, if you restaurant and you have something on the menu, like how do you advertise it? Like what do you put, like let's say you buy ad in a magazine and now like you have a special offer like $3.99 for this, like you as a business, you have to come up with a hook, with a really good offer, and then marketer will put, you know, if he truly knows what he's doing, he will figure out how to build audience, who to put that ad in front, but he will desperately need to copy the image, the value proposition. And what I found that a lot of roofers, for example, don't have value proposition. They all have the same, free inspection. Do you know how hard it is to advertise free inspection? It's insane. Like free inspection for what? Like nobody believes in it. So now you're gonna hire someone, pay them $2,500 a month to advertise free inspection that nobody wants. Like give me something better. Think outside of the box. I don't know if
the best marketers will challenge you a little bit when
true.
Like we ask what makes you different, and then like the first answer usually isn't the one we use. We have to dig deeper. We have to say no, for real. Like well,
give me the best product. Like and that's what I do. Like a directory. So we do a lot of funny videos. I actually create, like in the marketing fitness program and in directory, we have videos and we create, and I tell them, like I give my roofers a script. My name is, I'm the owner of, and I ask them, my favorite product is, like I'll give you an example, Chris Perowski, All Face Construction in Tampa, Florida. You know, his bestseller, he has this solar vent. It's $1,500 solar vent. I actually flew there, we did a video. I mean, that's the stuff we're talking about. So now you have a 1,500 solar vent that when you put it on camera and you demonstrate how it works, it's so impressive. People just look at it like, I want it. Like they believe you. Seeing is believing. So now you can take a picture of it. You can put it on a Facebook. You can put it on a website. You can actually get sales.
I love that. And you're kind of zooming in on one particular detail of a total roofing system, right? And like, these little details really can sell deals for you, you know, like
100%.
Like if you're the type of person that uses perma boot, or like you have a particular, these little details, you can zoom in on stuff and really like blow it and show them, this is what makes us different. We use this.
Especially if you can visualize it.
Yeah.
Because like, I'll give you an example. Years ago when I had my roofing company, we were doing solar tubes. You know, like imagine you have a roof and you have a dark room in your house that doesn't get enough sunlight. Well, as a roofer, you can install a solar tube. You know, it's minimal work. You can actually become solar tube company. It goes like the, I mean, it's it's like a light.
Nice. Yeah.
They're super nice. How many roofers are doing it? 1%. But I would rather be a solar tube advertising company than a roofing advertising company. And guess what? Who is doing solar tubes? Roofing companies. It's a roofing product. It penetrates your roof. So the point is, find a niche, find something that works. It could be roof cleaning. It could be copper ridge at the top, but something that clicks. In marketing, we call it visual hammer. You see the image, like it clicks.
I love that. Any other marketing or lead gen fails that you've been getting? Because what I always find interesting about your phone blows up.
Yes.
Your emails go nuts, your texts, your people call you and they want to talk about it. And the first one that happens, you're probably not going to be like, that company is awful or whatever. And I'm not actually looking for names, but I'm saying like, what categories of things have been lead gen fails that people keep talking to you about?
Well, recently, lots of website companies. So what I found is nobody wants, like website builders became greedier and greedier. So like 5 years ago, 7 years ago, you could find someone to build a website for $1,000, for $2,000. Then price went like $5,000, right? 10.
We sell websites for $20K, but we break it down by month. It's $16.65 a month. Anyways.
Sure. Well, but it's not about.
But we have good ingredients. We have actual designers and developers. It's completely custom.
But I'm not even talking about the price. Only about the price. But what I see now, you see different packages. Now, what the marketer of website builders doing, especially bad ones, they hook you up like on a very expensive plan. Like pretty much it's $5,000 a month for an entire year, or it could be $7,000, it could be $10,000. I've seen, like, they get more and more expensive, and then you have no control, you have no leverage. So they control your website. They will take, like, Drive Social is a great example. There's many companies like Drive Social. So they take your money. After 4 months, you still might not have a website. So you pay 20 grand, you still don't have a website, but you still have to pay the rest 40. Right? So zero results, zero accountability.
We talked about people that once, like, if they have a monthly thing and you're like 14 months in, you're like, I'm not paying that monthly thing.
Exactly.
There's been a number of these companies that will just take down your website.
Yep.
And
they hold you hostage.
Yeah, which I think is like, you should own your website. And there's big ones and small ones. And I could say names, but just know that if somebody's talking about, like,
read that contract in the beginning, and why
do I own my website if I leave here?
Well, the most important question to ask, and also how does it connect to results? Because they don't want to guarantee results. Results are different. Like, well, yeah, but my paycheck is not different. Like, I'm paying you $5,000 a month. So what will happen if I only have 10 leads? Like, what will happen? If entire year I only have 10 phone calls, are you going to give me money back? Am I paying $60,000 for 10 leads, $6,000 per phone call? Oh, that's not going to happen. So if you're so sure it's not going to happen, what are you sure? Like, are we talking about hundreds of leads? Like,
I need you to come in here and craft our guarantee with me, because for EOS and traction, I'm a really big fan of EOS and traction. You're supposed to have a guarantee, but it is terrifying. I'll be honest, it's terrifying. Like, I want to be like, it's 25% more leads guaranteed, and then, like, there's a certain level. Like, that's why we stop the super early companies from coming in here, because I'm just like, it doesn't make sense financially. Because if we're 5% of your revenue, you only have $1 million, then it might not make sense to work with us. And that's why, like, but yeah. It's just the math doesn't math in that situation, but for a little bit bigger companies, it does.
If you're not using Company Cam, you're in the old ways. You know, if you are taking pictures, you're going through extra steps of having to download them on a computer, having to email them out to people, show somebody, print them out, whatever it is. Company Cam has everything you want.
and that's the biggest differentiator between good and bad guys, between someone like you and everyone else. As a matter of fact, even Lee Haight, I'll throw him in this category. Not everyone is your client. You have to, like, just because you have product does not mean that you can sell it to everyone. Like, Lee Haight's the worst enemy is himself and his sales system. He takes money from absolutely everyone. So, and his package is like 60 grand. The problem is he doesn't give refunds. So his program will work for some people. So let's say 1 in 3 will make it work, and he'll get good testimonial out of it. Like, but some people on a higher level, like, for example, I can afford to pay $50,000 to mentor. I'll learn 2 things from him, and I'll give him credit. Okay, it was worth it. But if you take a guy who does 1 million a sale a year, and you grab 20 grand from him, Lee will grab 60 grand from you, you're gonna make that guy broke. He was not your cousin, and this is the complaints I get on Lee. So he takes money, and then people comes like, hey, he ruined my business. I hate it, because 60 grand is all they have, and Lee refuses to pay them back. So they try to sue him, get money back. And does Lee have good success stories? Yes. But imagine yourself, if you would take money from every single person who wanted to hire you, including
we turned down like 5 out of 10 just out the door.
Exactly, but imagine if you didn't. You would be richer, but the amount of complaints, about of refunds, and
that's why on average, I do like a lot of, and I always bring this up, but I like niche players, because at least they have to face the music about their reputation in roofing. There's other people that we don't know because they went on to the next niche. They went on to dentistry. You know what I mean? Like, there's guys out there that have come to me for advice, marketing agency owners, and I'm like, stop switching niches. Like, that's not a strategy.
Figure it out.
Get good with try to make your reputation better and stick it, And that's one thing I would tell just other marketing agencies, because there will be a few that watch this. I just think getting better about turning people down, where, like, try to do the math on ROI. And, like, For me, I'm trying to hit at least 5x on ROI. Like if I don't feel like I can do that, we're really nice about it, but we do turn people down, and we turn a lot of people down, and that's okay. That's fine. We're trying to make people money and then make our reputation better, and that's what we're working on. That being said,
Sure.
with Lee, because I don't know that much about Lee, and he might be on this podcast.
Sure.
So, what about caveat emptor, which is a Latin for essentially, it's on the buyer of a service. You have a personal responsibility
Sure.
to not make dumb decisions. There are people, and this gets dicey
Sure.
for me to talk
Sure.
about, but there are people that keep on every single vendor that they ever hire
Sure.
is wrong, is bad. And when people come in here and they're like, the last 3 marketing agencies were terrible, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not gonna like fix this entire thing.
I get
for
it.
you. Yeah.
But with Lee, it's also opposite. His track record speaks for itself. Like, and his track record, what I've noticed for the past 7-8 years, he's open about it. He pretty much says that 1 out of 3 sales reps will stick. So that's why.
But sorry, I'm saying more about the general idea.
But the same thing. So it goes both ways. So like if you overpromise and under-deliver, you're gonna have big turnover in customers. A lot. That's how you're gonna become 3 2-star coach or 3 2-star business, because you cannot always blame your consumer. Yes, there's gonna be guys who you can't please, but it's your job to filter them. Now, my answer to that is there are guys who just keeps going from, they change CRMs, they change website companies, they go. But there's also business owners who sell hype, pure hype. If I come to you and I say, I'm going to make you a millionaire, or I know how to do this, right? If I'm selling you an idea and I'm overconfident, and then on the back end it's water, it's mediocre results, you're going to be disappointed, right? And you can see both sides. So both sides have a track record. The seller has a track record of maybe conceiving or lying to his clients. Yeah. Marketing companies are known for it. And then there's a buyer who's also have a track record. So it's both have to do the homework.
Yeah, I love that. So if you have a track record and it ends up being like, I hate every vendor that I go with, then people aren't going to trust your hate on it anymore. But it's funny, roofers do that with homeowners. Like I've seen a few groups pop up that are like,
homeowners are always bad. Or
tell me about like that. Like let's talk about particular homeowners. That's always funny. They're like, they do a group and they're like, this homeowner lied and like didn't pay their invoice or something. It's like, well, I don't think we're gonna get to have a site like that. But if we figure out how to do it, then that'd be funny. Anyways, I appreciate you joining. Thank you for taking the time today. And by the way, if you want to throw out a plug for Marketing Fitness, because we were just on Marketing Fitness, and that's why. So
we do Marketing Fitness is my newest program where we do stuff every single week. I drop 5 videos on Monday, and by Friday it's 10-15 minutes of your time. We give you the access. Monday is social media day, Tuesday is search engine day, Wednesday traditional marketing, Thursday is video content, and Friday we finish it with a niche marketing. Like I share what I find works. I give you examples, I give you scripts. I took fitness approach to marketing. For me, marketing, just like fitness, I have to work out every day and I have to advertise and market myself every day. So that's my approach to life. And if you want me to advertise, approach like your marketing with you, like let's do it together, that's Marketing Fitness.
And did you say directory contractors?
Yeah, it's free. It's free for directory contractors, and it's $49 a month for everybody else.
That's an insanely good deal. Check it out. All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Absolutely.